It's live.
All right. So Juan, we the brothers from out here in Tampa Bay. First and foremost, we want to give all the praises and glory unto Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, double honor to the elders, apostles of Great Millstone. Much blessing and salutations to the occupants around the four corners of the earth who are diligently pushing out this truth and sincerity. Um, so we're gonna go right into it, man. You know, we got an article that we're gonna go into, we're in the last days that Yahweh Shai spoke with, and the brother actually wants to get Matthew 24. Also get Salakia. Get Isaiah 19. Yes, get Isaiah 19. Go for shot and just hold it real quick. And basically what we're gonna go into is this article that came up late last night, around close to midnight. And basically, the article is off of the website RT. It's entitled "Biden Calls Republican Voting Laws Assault on America, Demands Congress Pass Democratic Proposals to Federalize U.S. Elections." The brother also wants to get if Satan be divided against Satan. So we sure get that.
Gotcha, brother.
Yeah, let that brother get that. And just hold that real quick. Okay. And then real quick, Mike, if you don't mind, get Revelation 13. And we're gonna start off on that because we're gonna establish this beast system that we living in and how this place is actually working, and then we're gonna get into the judgments of this place because as we're gonna read this article, we're gonna see that America, aka Babylon the Great, the beast, part of that beast system, which is really the whore that rideth upon the beast, America, that is, how this place is divided and getting ready to fall. Okay, a lot of people are gonna be at each other's throats. You're gonna have people attacking their neighbors, okay? And then the funny thing is that the Lord spoke of these things before they happened. Okay, matter of fact, I'll get it. Let me read this one, and then we're gonna get into that one in Revelation. This is it's around verse 11, around there. Second Ezra chapter 9 and verse 1, it says, "He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world with humanity." And we're understanding the times that we're living in. We're able to measure the times through the scriptures, through the prophecy, okay? Which is the word of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, okay? Which is the entirety of the book. Not just the Old Testament, not just this book or that book, the whole scriptures. Is the word of the Most High, and there's prophecies written throughout. And through that, we use the scriptures to verify the times that we're living in, and we know that it is the very same time where the highest shall begin to visit the world that he made. Okay, it goes on to say, verse 3, "Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand. Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning." So we well understand now in these last days because of the things that are happening, the uproars of the people, and we've seen nothing but uproars of the people right now, man. You got the whole thing in Haiti happening. You got Manasseh over there on the island tripping. Okay, you got Paris, people over there protesting because of the mandatory vaccine. And it was something else that they were also protesting about. Okay, but you got Australia on lockdown, South Africa, people bugging out over there too. This whole week has been nothing but starting from Sunday. With Manasseh, it's been nothing but a week of uproars of the people, man. Okay, and it's beautiful because you had earthquakes too. One in California where that was like a 6-point something, or off the coast of California. You had the one in Japan. Okay, but it's been a week of nothing but the Lord showing the signs that He's getting ready to come and bring His only begotten Son, man. Yahweh Shai. Okay, in the name of Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Okay. So go ahead and get that revelation, Brother Bashar. We're gonna show before we get into this article who this beast is and what the Republicans and the Democrats have to do with the scripture. Okay, so go ahead. Revelation 13, verse 11. Revelation 13, verse 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, big as a dragon front. So this beast coming up out of the earth, this is talking about America, man. Okay? And it says what? Well, that beast is that beast that was wounded, okay? The Roman Empire was wounded, it fell, and then it was risen back up, which I believe it states that right, the next verse, there you go. But it says real quick, it says, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Those two horns are what? Back in the ancient times, it was the plebeians and the patricians, okay? And nowadays, those two horns are what? The Republican and the Democratic parties. And it says like a lamb. Why? Because that's how this government walks around. That's how this government carries itself as a humble entity. Yeah, politically correct. There's that phrase, politically correct, because it's what's right. Okay, and what's wrong with this? Go ahead, Akram.
Priest up on just what you just said there about it coming as a lamb. Real quick, Psalm 55 and what is it? God damn it.
Where it's smoother than butter.
Yeah. Verse 21. It says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. You got it, bro.
Yeah, see? So his words were smoother than butter, meaning it seemed everything that this devil talks about seems right. It sounds good, like people like to say it sounds good, but what? But war is in his heart. And this is why Sirach 12 tells you, never trust thine enemy, for as iron rusteth, so shall his wickedness, man. Everything that this devil sounds, it sounds sweet. It sounds good. Like, oh yeah, I'm about to go down there. We for the Cuban people, SOS Cuba. But then the people that are leaving Cuba right now, he's telling y'all better not even come over here.
Mm-hmm.
So war is in his heart because this devil really, he's just seeking whom he may devour, man. And it was getting ready to come here to the streets of America is what's happening around the whole entire earth, man. And things being in Cuba the way they are right now should be a sign to you Americans that things are this close, 90 miles away from hitting America, man. 90 miles away, things are happening right now from America that are getting ready to hit these streets. And you people are just so blinded and by the things that this devil's pushing out there. All this crap that he's pushing out there for you people to be preoccupied is for you to be distracted from what's getting ready to happen here on the streets, man. Okay? Go ahead. Yep. Okay, never mind. Go ahead. Yep. Revelation 13, verse 11 says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. And he had two horns like a lamb and spake as a dragon. Right. And he spoke as a dragon because there's a such thing called draconian laws. Okay, which those draconian laws were named after a man called Draco back in the Greek Empire, who put out laws to severely punish people for little stupid things. Like if you stole a piece of bread, you'd be hanged. Okay, it was severe punishment. So that's where the term draconian laws came from. Was from a guy named Draco, which that name Draco goes back to the word dragon, man. Okay. So he's speaking as a dragon by what? Through his policies, through his laws that he's pushing out. Like right now out here in Tampa, you have Manasseh protesting over here too because of what's going on over there on the island. But what did they do? We didn't click on it, but we saw the little thumbnail talking about two guys that got arrested because of the anti-protest laws that they implemented. So you can't even come out and speak up against this place. You can't do anything against this place. If you speak against this place, your video will get flagged. Okay, and many other draconian laws. Those are little things, but draconian. Ready to happen is Esau's getting ready to push, and he already has the system, the policies in place, like the turning your people, your family people, in. He has these draconian laws already set up, but that he hasn't really put out there to the public yet. We had two ones like a lamb, thick as a dragon, and that's why you have things like called voters remorse. You vote for people voted for Joe Biden. Now they wake up to realize like I should never voted for him. Like they voted off their emotions because his words, brother read earlier about his words being smooth and butter. He makes all these promises. He's on that podium and says this and that,
you beat it all up, and then the ultimate is all end up to set you up. You know?
Right, that's right. And real quick, before you get that, the brother Chazak Ban Yahweh just posted the scripture up in Second Ezra chapter 11. And if you know anything about Second Ezra chapter 11, it's talking about the Roman Empire. Okay, and towards the end, it starts to talk about America. But we know that that Roman Empire, which is that beast, is reincarnated back here again, and is being spearheaded by America. So the precept the brother posted up was the Second Ezra chapter 11, verse 6. I'm going to read up and start at verse 5. It says, "Moreover, I beheld, and lo, the eagle flew with her feathers and rained upon earth and over them that dwelt therein." Now, this is going into the Roman Empire at the time, but you can use this to correlate it with America now today. Okay, so verse 6 says, "And I saw all things under heaven were subject unto her, and no man spake against her, no, not one creature upon earth." So you have right now, America has put their foot on everybody's necks, and nobody dares speak up about this except the men of the Lord. And if you do speak up, things will happen to you. Whether your channel gets taken down, whether they start investigating you, or they actually come and arrest you, man. You have had people who got arrested or lost their jobs, lost their careers, okay, because they spoke up against America, man. Okay, or the system. Okay, like look what happened to Princess Diana, man. She got yoked up out of this place because she was speaking up against what the family over there in Britain were doing, man. Okay, and she wasn't with it. So what they had to do, they had to blow this chick up to smithereens, man.
Hey, you know who you, if you can't speak about them, that's how you know who's in power.
Exactly. Yep. That was it on that one.
Okay, Revelation.
Yeah. Let him get this one real quick. Go ahead and get that one real quick because it said we read in Revelation 13 and 11. It said it spoke as a dragon. Go ahead.
It's the book of Daniel 8, verse 25.
Now this precept is actually going back to the time after Alexander, during the time of the Ptolemaic, Seleucid lines. This is actually talking about specifically the Antiochus or Antiochus Epiphanes of the Seleucid line. But again, you can correlate this to Esau Edom today. Okay, go ahead.
The book of Daniel 8 and 25. It says, "And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many."
Right, and real quick, it said that through his policy shall he cause craft to prosper. One of the biggest policies that Esau passed that was very detrimental to the things that he's getting ready to do was the all the way back to 2001, 2002. I forget exactly when it was signed, but it was going back to that. But now all you Americans are deemed terrorists. Somebody got a window open or something? Or you got anything going on the phone?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, it went away.
Yeah.
It went away. But yeah, see, so the Patriot Act was what? In 2001, after the whole thing happened with 9/11, Esau set up these, which we ain't gonna speak on that, but we know what the deal was with that. Esau set up this policy, the Patriot Act, which deemed every American a domestic terrorist, man. Okay, and what we're gonna read in this article is exactly what they're gonna reiterate that. Okay, so finish that precept and then finish that revelation.
Finishing off, it says, "He shall also stand up against the princes, but he shall be broken without him."
Right. Yeah. So, again, that's talking about Antiochus Epiphanes back in the time of the Greeks. But go ahead and finish that in Revelation, Bible Sean.
This is Revelation 13. I read 11 again. Revelation 13, verse 11. "And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and spake as a dragon." Verse 12, "And he exercises all the power of the first beast before him."
Right, and that first beast before him was the Roman Empire itself. Okay, back 2,000-something years ago. So now America is exercising that same power again with the same policy, the same government structure. Okay, you still got the one president that people vote in. You still got the Senate. Okay. Go ahead.
Yep. Revelation 13, verse 12, "And he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and called it the earth, and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed.
Whose deadly wound was healed, and that wound was healed during the time of the end of the Byzantine Empire, going into the time of the Renaissance. Okay, that's when that wound was healed. That's when Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, who ruled, and even scholars will tell you that the Roman Empire was the empire of the Edomites. So those Edomites came back into power during the time of the Renaissance, okay, with the fall and collapse of the Holy Roman Empire, which was run by Jake for the most part. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, that was the point, that I wanted to hit on, was the beast having those two horns, being the Republicans and the Democrats. And today, back then, it was the patricians and the plebeians, okay? But that beast is here again, and that's what basically this art. I just wanted to get that article basis out, okay? Because what we're getting ready to see here coming to the streets, and what we're getting ready to read in the article, is what the scripture says would happen in the last days, okay? So if any brother got a precept real quick before we get into the article. Okay. So let's get into this article now. It says, starting at the top, it says, praising his election in 2020 as the pinnacle of U.S. democracy, President Joe Biden called Republicans domestic enemies of the country and said their state voting laws are the greatest threat to the U.S. since the Civil War. You see? Wow. So this Esau said that he's pushing, because remember, words have power. So he's pushing the spirit out into the people, so they have this in his mind of the Civil War, the country against each other. Okay? And who had that in Matthews?
I got you. I got you right here.
Okay, go ahead, brother. Yeah, because the brother posted it up too. Because this is what's happening, man. Go ahead, Ar.
Khan, this is Matthew Matthew chapter 13. Hold on, Salak. Matthew chapter 12 and verse 25. It says, and Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself.
And real quick, it said every kingdom divided against itself shall come to what? To naught?
Desolation.
It says every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation.
Yeah, it's brought to desolation, and America is a kingdom, man. Okay? America is a kingdom, and it is divided against itself now more than ever, more than the Civil War back then. Because the scriptures tell you that it's going to be a day like no other, man. Okay? Go ahead.
It says every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How then can his kingdom stand?
Right. So how can this kingdom stand? This kingdom of America stand if this place is against each other, man? And the scriptures talk about this. The other nations saying, has thou become as weak as we? As we are? The other nations are seeing this, man. And guess what? These other nations are like shark in waters right now. They smell that blood leaking out of this place. That wound that the people thought was healed, well, she ain't healed, man. And now that thing is starting to the pus is starting to ooze out. The blood is in the water, because what? The waters represent the people, right? Like it talks about in the book of Revelation chapter 17, the beast that standeth upon many waters. Okay? Well, the sharks that are in that water, they starting to smell that blood now. That's dripping off that beast, man. And they starting to recognize that this place is getting ready to fall and crumble, man. And they're going to take advantage. You best believe that, man. These nations will shoot at her. Ariel, you have something?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Real quick, Davida. Isaiah 19:2. Isaiah 19:2, it says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Were you able to hear me?
You got it.
Okay, con. Yeah, there you go. Egyptian against Egyptians. All right, and we know this through the scriptures, or is it even through Revelation, the 11th chapter, I believe it is, that America is what the modern day Egypt, among other things as well too. The scripture is saying he's going to set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, which again is what do you call it? The kingdom divided against itself. It says what? And they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. So these Edomites, losing power and doing this and that in the world is starting to lead to a split amongst Edomites. All right, which is supposed to happen. This is all prophecy that's meant to happen in the latter days. But these are the signs that we're trying to warn you about. And brothers are bringing up the article, which is backing that all up, or just it backs up the scriptures and what's going on right now. You got it, Dawada.
Hey, Con, just to add on to what you just read, and going into that kingdom divided, he's talking about the brothers being divided. I'm gonna read two quick precepts. First one is Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 7. It says, "And Yahweh thy power shall put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee." So, like the brother was just going into, now this is falling on Esau, Edom. So let me jump back to Deuteronomy chapter 28, just to read one of these curses that fell upon us. 28 and 54, it says, "So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother, and towards the wife of his bosom, and towards the remnant of his children, which he shall leave." And the point was that he was going to have an evil eye towards his brother. And this is one of the ways that Esau was able, obviously it was through, the scripts, the prophecies that we was going to be in the captivity upon him. And, I just read the curses that will fall upon us. But, in a carnal sense, they have that term divide and conquer. And so when you look at Jake, as a whole, we all divided up, so we can't come together and stand together. You know what I'm saying? He breaks us up to where we fight amongst each other. But now these curses are being translated on Esau. Now you're starting to see these same things. You have a lot of different scriptures that go about that. Especially going into the end about those that was confederate with them, they're gonna turn against him. All his allies turning against him, and you seeing this internal strife amongst these Edomites right now, where even though they're in the pinnacle of their power, they're fighting one another. All right, you got it, brothers.
I got something for you. Isaiah 19 in verse 2 through 3. Isaiah 19 and 2. "And I will set the Egyptian against." Brothers, right there?
Yeah, that's what I read.
Oh, great.
Read it again, though. Yeah.
That's 3 times. That's 3 times. Because this brother had it first, then Ariel brought it, and now you brought it out.
Oh, wow.
Isaiah 19 and 2. "And I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian." And that's the scripture. Pretty much our class before the life of we're actually going into how America, which is Babylon the Great in the scriptures, how it pretty much links, all right, through the idolatry of the ancient Egyptians, man. Okay, and then linking it to the scriptures, all right, how the sodomy, all right, that happened in Sodom and Gomorrah. All right, pretty much linking all these things that's actually taking place across the four corners of the earth to the Bible, man. Okay, and the Lord is now that all your hurtful works, the scripture say your hurtful works are fulfilled. So now that you're reaching that peak of you being fulfilling the will of Yahweh Shemashah, now the Lord is getting ready to jack you nations up, man. Now the Lord is getting ready to jack you devils up. That's what this thing is boiling down to, man. The scriptures say the sins of this place have reached the heavens, man. Okay, and it's written in code so that we can understand it, because the mysteries of the kingdom are given into the elect. But ultimately, you devils is going down, man. The Lord said He would destroy in this place the covering cats, man. Yep.
Again, going into the time, this whole divide that's happening is yet another example of the scriptures. The scriptures correlate the spiritual Sodom in Egypt with the Egypt of old. The Egyptian against the Egyptian. Well, guess what? It's happening all over again. Okay. You had something, Ariel? You look like you wanted to say something.
Oh, no. You good. You got it.
Came off.
Isaiah 19? Yeah. Finish that off. All right. And we're going to get back to the art.
"And I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall fight against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom."
Because I was, making sure, backing myself up. You go look on Google and look up ancient Egyptian civil wars. Right? And that's what was happening. A lot of times you had infighting. You had, men on the earth calling themselves gods and then treating people like shit on the bottom. And that's when civil wars broke out. There's the lack of respect for, the workers and things like that. There's things happening in ancient Egypt. So, go do your own research. I might do a lesson on it. Just reading through it's too much to read, but it says civil wars broke out, raged for years. Because the wealth gap, going into the rich, getting richer, and everybody else on the bottom being treated like shit. That's what happened in ancient Egypt.
Okay, what's that precept in the second Ezra where it say they shall not regard their kings or princes?
The brother that posted it up there, which we'll bring out here in a little bit, because that's what's getting ready to happen, man. Just like in all these other nations, there's a sedition happening amongst men. That's what's getting ready to come into the streets because look at the condition of the country, man. The government is at each other's throats. You got people marching. You got people marching into the Capitol House, so-called rioting. Then you got people from Texas marching up to D.C. The group of Democrats to stop voting on some particular bill. I don't know exactly what it was, but this place is a complete shambles, man. And it's going to get to the point to where the draconian laws of speaking as a dragon is going to get so much for the people that they're just going to be fed up, just like every other nation is being fed up with their governments, and the people are going to revolt, man. An uprising against the government. That's what the word sedition means. And that's what we're going to get into that precept, Lord's will. But let me continue a little bit more on this article. Anybody got a precept before we continue?
Yeah.
You brothers got a precept?
Nah, you good.
So continuing on down, jumping to a quote from Biden, it says, there's an unfolding assault taking place in America today, an attempt to suppress and subvert the right to vote in fair and free elections, an assault on democracy, an assault on liberty. And what are those Manasseh screaming? Libertad, meaning liberty. That's what Esau is pushing out here, man. That whole thing of, your liberties are being taken away by this selective people. But really, he's getting ready to take everybody's liberties. He's getting ready to pull the rug from underneath you, like Sirach chapter 12 tells you, man. Verses 16 and 17. Okay? It says, an assault on who we are, he said. See, so they're trying to play that emotion game because all you damn Americans are all effeminate, man. Y'all a bunch of sissies. Okay? Y'all adhere to your emotions instead of using your damn logic. Now I'm talking about you men, because you women are creatures of emotion anyway, so you got no control over that. But you men, you should know better, man. You should be using your right brain, man. Your right head. But y'all a bunch of effeminate ass ninjas, okay? And y'all being swayed by your emotions through what Esau's telling you, man. But it says, he argued the Republicans were seeking to make it harder for Americans to vote and that they subvert the electoral process by changing who counts the votes and how in response to the big lie that his victory in the 2020 presidential election over the incumbent Donald Trump wasn't on the level. Let me skip on down a little bit. It says, right here. It says, if you lose, you accept the results, follow the Constitution. You don't fall facts fake and try to bring down the American experiment just because you're unhappy. That's not selected. That's the wrong one. Here it is. According to Biden, Republican suppression laws and the U.S. Supreme Court decisions. So he's even coming up against the Supreme Court. He says Republican suppression laws and the U.S. Supreme Court decisions that weaken the Voting Rights Act in 2013 and again this month are all part of the same continuum as slavery, the KKK campaign of terror after the Civil War, and the January 6th deadly insurrection at the U.S. Capitol, the citadel of our democracy. And again, they're using this term deadly when there was only I think 4 or 5 people that died. And one of them was shot because she was breaking into that dance. She was in the state house and she got shot by the cop in the shoulder and then died of complications. And the other 3 people died because they had a heart attack. It wasn't because they died because it was deadly force or people were killing other people. They died because they were idiots. Okay? But they're using these words to try to what was that? Yeah, to control the narrative and also to appeal to the emotions of people, man. That's why they're using the word slavery, the KKK campaign of terror. Who do you think they're appealing to? Who do they want to rise up? You fucking Jakes, man. You Israelites. They want y'all to rise up because they want to have a reason of why they want to come and gun you people down, man.
Fight you Jakes out.
Exactly.
They need something to rouse up so they can come down. Can I get this real quick? Revelations 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and and ye that dwell therein, and ye that dwell in them. In which, and the reason why I say therefore rejoice ye heavens, because we are a part of the heavens, man. All right, we're not from this place, man. No. So the scriptures is telling us to rejoice. That's why the Lord said, what? My joy that I give you, all right, let no man take it, because we are a part of the heavens, man. We're getting ready to, this is our last captivity, man. You see? But we need for this man to do what he has to do. So the Lord, Yahweh Shah, can make his move on the right hand side, man. It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth. And what? Book of Isaiah 24 chapter says what? The earth is the foul under the inhabitants thereof, man.
Yep.
You know? So the whole earth is out of whack because this man is in power, man. Okay? So woe unto this man. That's an instruction to this man. It says, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you. All right? So the devil is coming down unto you, man. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, okay? Because what? It says, because he knoweth that he has but a short time, going back into all the prophecies of this book, man. Okay? The things that Job said, okay? The Lord had a bound that this man cannot pass. In the book of Psalms, it says, I thought, he said, I was foolish to envy at the wicked, but until I went into thy sanctuary, man. Then understood I therein. So all the prophets understood that this is the end. So this man is getting ready to come down with a great force because his lie is up. This man is on a run, and now he has nowhere to go, man. And now what? Job 18, what? He's getting ready to be brought to the king of terrors. So this whole narrative of you trying to put the pull a wool over all the people. It's, bro, the Lord is getting ready to pull a rug from this devil, man. Okay, he's going to slip and fall into the trap, the snare that he has for the whole world. He's getting ready to fall into that.
The devil, he's the devil, man. That's what it says. The devil shall come down on you. This man is he's clearly a deceiver. Right? This man, he rules the nation by pure deception, lies. Everything is a lie. All right, this whole thing going on right now in the world, it's all fake, man. And this is how this man does it. This is Psalm 94, verse 20 and 21. It says, "Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by law? They gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous and condemn the innocent blood." As Esau, man. All these different laws and these unrighteous decrees pursuant to the book of Isaiah, the 10th chapter, that's going on out here in the world. You what do you call it? Brother, going into everything right now. This is the tip of the iceberg. This is just something. This is some new shit that's happening. This week. Every day there's something new and this wicked going on in the world, and it's all. Esau, he's doing is going to eventually bring that down on you, Jake. You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, like Brother Kwame just said, man. He's going to come down on you with all the whole nation with great wrath, because he knows that he feels that his power is slipping out of his hands. So when you feel power slipping out of your hands, you're gonna basically pull out all the stops. You're gonna pull out all the weapons, and that's what's ultimately going to happen with Esau, because he knows he can't win. With all these lies, so eventually he's just gonna, the hell with you people. Yeah, I'm the devil. What are you gonna do about it? You brothers got it.
Okay, we'll get this one. Get this preserved.
Luke chapter 10, verse 15. Thou, Capernaum, which are exalted to heaven.
10 and 18.
In Luke chapter 10, verse 18, and he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven.
That's right. And that's what we're seeing right now. Satan, the adversary of the Most High, we seeing him fall from heaven like lightning, man. Because what? He's put his nest up in the stars, right? In the heavens. And we've seen this man fall faster than we've ever seen this man fall before.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? All these things that we've seen happen, okay, is the Lord's judgment being brought down upon his devil, and it's happening quick. Okay, like it says in the book of Matthew, chapter 24, brother got that on deck. You don't have to bring it out right now, but it talks about the days being short for the elect's sake, man. So it's gonna be short and so it's gonna be short and so quick that it's gonna seem like lightning fault coming from the sky, man.
That's why, to back you up, Isaiah 14 chapter says, how have that fallen from heaven? Oh, Lucifer,
Right.
you know?
Oh, son of the morning.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Yeah, there's Isaiah 32 in verse 5, just read, saying to cast down his lightning. Isaiah 32 verse 5, it says, the vile person shall be no more called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. So I'll read again. Isaiah 32 verse 5, the vile person shall be no more called liberal. So a vile person, you think it's someone that's vile, that means they're morally corrupt. You know, they're off. There's something's not right about it. So the vile person being Esau shall be no more called liberal. So when you think about liberals, they're what? They push social progression. You know, so that's why you have this homosexuality thing going on and stuff going on in the world, because that's called socialism. You know, well, it's like not socialism, liberalism. You know, liberty, freeing you. You know,
That they back you up. A moral abomination. You're actually pushing that abomination, you know, which ultimately is against the scriptures.
Why?
You making it like the right thing to do when it ultimately is off.
That's exactly what it's saying. Read again, Isaiah 32, verse 5, the vile person shall be no more called liberal. And that's what people think of so-called America, the land of free. You know, come over here and do what the hell you want to do. That's pretty much what he pushes. You know, it says the vile person shall be no more called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. So churl meaning evil. You know, Esau is the wicked man that walks on the earth pushing these decrees, things like that. You know, being bountiful goes into being free. You know, going to something that's bountiful. Pretty much, matter of fact, right here it says bountiful. It says given or given freely, producing in abundance. You know, so to say these freedoms. You know, come over here in America, you live blissfully, all these luxuries, things like that. People come over here to the American dream. You know, that's what they come over here for. But again, it's all the trap. That's that wine that people been drinking, Babylon juice, and they've been tricked. You know, this whole thing is a setup for you to destroy it.
I got a quick one for you.
Okay, go ahead.
Count real quick. This is Nahum chapter 3, Marie, verse 1. The point is in verse 4. It says, woe to the bloody city. It is all full of lies, robbery. The prey departeth not. Jumping down to verse 4, it says, because of the multitude of the whoredom of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcraft that selleth nations through her whoredom and families through her witchcraft. You know, going back to like the brother just quoted in Jeremiah 51:7 about that Babylonian juice. All right, this is what is pushing out on the minds of the people, man. But now, you know, like again, Jeremiah 51:7, the nations are now mad. They're all corrupted. They're just walking around just bugged out now, you know, and this is all taking a toll. And how is it saying? As a matter of fact, I'm on this page, Isaiah 14. It says, where is it? 14 and 16, it says, they that see thee shall nearly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake the kingdoms? You know, not only him just bombing the whole damn planet, but again going back into him giving them that Babylonian juice, you know, that wine. He transgresses by wine, man. All right, this is the same thing. He's pushing out all these things amongst these different nations, and you see the decay of the whole planet, man. All right, go ahead, brothers.
This is the book of Hebrews 12, starting at verse 16. It says, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. For ye know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected. Right. Just to back up the brothers, the vile person. There is no other, read that first part. That's the point that I was getting. Hebrews 12 and 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau. Yeah, as Esau. So that's that vile person, man. Okay, that the brother was reading about. Okay, but let's go back to this article. It says, and real quick before I continue in the article, there's actually another article that they suggest. It says also on RT. Just to show you again more division. The name of the article is Texas House votes to round up Democrats who fled to D.C. to block controversial voting bill. So these people already tell us, man, it's just one big shit show that's happening, and it's really hilarious, man. It's like watching a soap opera. You know, these things that are happening, and as the scriptures talk about, the men of the Lord shall be laughing. Okay, The Lord shall laugh at thy calamity. Remember, these are curses that are going to be upon our people. But Deuteronomy 30:7, like the brother David brought out earlier, we're going to be laughing at the Edomites too. Because these curses are falling upon them. They're coming up against, like the brother brought out from Deuteronomy, they're putting their brother up against their brother, man. Okay? It says, continuing in this article, because you got to preach that real quick.
Psalms 58. This is Psalms 58, verse 10. Psalms 58, verse 10. The righteous shall rejoice when he seeth the vengeance. He shall wash his feet in the blood of the wicked. So shall a man say, verily, there is a reward for the righteous. Verily, he is a power that judges in the earth. We see in the prophecy popping up. That's why we rejoice. Like the brother said, we sit back watching, man. All we got to do is sit back and watch. Because the scripture says, he that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. How's the Lord going to laugh at you people? By him raising up his men. Putting the spirit on us to actually laugh at you. The Lord ain't got to step off the throne. He going to use his men like he always did, man. You see? Yeah, that's right.
Brother, got any precepts before we continue?
No, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, go ahead, you got it.
So going back to the article, it says, according to, I read that part, it says, Biden reminded the audience that he swore an oath to defend the U.S. from enemies, foreign and domestic. Implying, okay, because this is what he was implying, that domestic enemies are the Republicans who dare doubt his legitimacy and advocate voter suppression. So he's pinning his comrades, his co-workers, his what's another word? I forget the word, but he's deeming them enemies, man. Enemies of the state.
His constituents.
Okay. What's up, Mike?
His constituents.
Constituents, that's right. That's right. His constituents are enemies now because they have their own opinions. That's the state of this place, man. The love of many shall wax cold. Okay? These people are at each other's throats, man. And it's hilarious. It's good to see this thing. Okay? It goes on to say, however, he also undermined his own case that the purported voting restrictions were racist. Oh, that has nothing to do with the topic. It says, let me get another good part.
Real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is Psalms 37, verse 13. I'm gonna start verse 11. Psalms 37, verse 11. But the meek shall inherit the earth, and shall delight themselves in abundance of peace. The wicked plotteth against the just, and casteth upon him peace. This is the point, verse 13. The Lord shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming. You know, so Esau, he sees this. You know, but the Lord, Yahweh, and child, getting ready to laugh at this man. Do what? Because the Lord is getting ready to transfer all the riches, transfer everything over to the elect. That's why the scriptures say the meek shall inherit the earth, man. Because the Lord is putting them in a position to be humble so he can exalt them, man. And all we're doing is sit back prophesying. That's why the scriptures say, occupy till I come, man. Occupy, when you go into the word, it means busy, man. So this, all we got to do is labor till the Lord comes. You know, flip the talents of Yahweh Shemel Shah, and we get ready to cash out, man. You know, by the way of salvation.
Going and reading a little bit more on this article, and then we're just gonna go into a couple of precepts and then close out the lesson. It says here in this article, it says instead, Biden had raised his voice and said he would call on Republican friends. So in one sense, in one breath, he's calling them friends, but in another one, he's calling them enemies of the country, man. This is how bugged out these people are, man. It's all just a show that they're putting out here to cause the division amongst you people out here, you everyday people. That's really who they really want to be pitted against each other. They could care less if they're against each other or not. Okay? Esau already don't like his own people anyways. The Edomites despise other Edomites. Okay? But he really wants the people of the place, and the people that he's expecting to rise up are the main ones who are going to rise up, the Edomites. These Trump-loving Edomites and these Democratic Edomites, they're going to be the main ones who's rising up, man, because they're really the only ones who really care about this government. Of course, you're gonna have Jake intermingled in there because they're a bunch of sheep and they're easily led. But the majority of the people that are going to be rising up against the government is these Edomites, man. And they proved that with the whole thing that happened in the Capitol. They proved that with those Democrats that marched all the way, they marched their asses up to D.C. and protested of some bill that was getting passed about votes in Texas, man. It's always these Edomites that are rising up against their government here in America, man. Same thing with the Civil War of old. It wasn't niggas that we tired of slavery. No, it was Edomites versus Edomites. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, quick one. Back you up. There's Proverbs 28, verse 25. Proverbs 28, verse 25 says, "He that is proud of heart stirreth up strife." So that's what the devil's doing. You know, he's behind the scenes. Because again, these niggas have scripts. They're not going up in the rooms and talk about this. They have somebody writing for them what they're going to say when they stand up in front of the folks. And they're sowing these seeds of this, what we're reading in Isaiah 19 chapter about Egyptian versus Egyptian, the strife, because they want to sit in that order of chaos. You know, it says, "But he that trusts in the Lord, but he that put his trust in the Lord shall be made fat." You know, so again, going to elect, you know, putting trust in the Lord. You know, we're not supposed to put our trust on Egypt and this world, because ultimately, again, we put our trust in our Shalom, we take care of the other party.
To back the brother up, because what in time of that's why the Lord said a greater deliverance is coming out of the land of the north, because what did we do in ancient Egypt? We put our trust in Yahweh Shemel Shai, man. That's how we got out of there. We didn't get out of there by sword. We didn't get out of there by military. We didn't get out of there by our force. We got out of there by Yahweh Shemel Shai. So once again, the Lord is going to deliver us out of this situation we in, man. We don't have nothing to worry about, man. Yahweh Shemel Shai is going to deliver us out of this. All we got to do is keep pushing this truth, man. And let Yahweh Shemel Shai work his word, man. You know, all we doing is pretty much like a commentary, if you will. You know how the commentary he I gotta say this because Jake played the game, 2K, but the commentary, he's well, mama, that go that man, LeBron James putting up. What do you think we're doing? We're actually commentary on what Yahweh Shemel is doing, man. You see, we're actually saying, this didn't happen. Oh shit, he's going up with the missiles dropping. Yep. That's what we're doing, bro. We're telling you what's getting ready to happen, man. So when it happens, there's no excuse.
Hey, bro, it's the same things happening back, like you were saying, bro, in the whole Egyptian situation, bro. It's the same thing, plagues. Okay, except for just being Moses going up there and telling them, you got the prophets out there. All the prophets are out there warning Esau or Pharaoh, like, yo, you better, just letting you know, it's about to get ugly out here. And they can continue in their wickedness. All right. And to the point where the Lord's going to bring those final plagues. And then what? He's going to save his children, and he's going to destroy the rest of these people. It's going to be a slaughter. And this is playing out the same way as it did back then. It's the same way. It's just in a modern era. And we see it. Like brother said, we just commentating it. All we doing is you playing the game. You have the commentators. Well, we commentating everything that the Lord is doing. Every time he brings judgment on the earth, that's like a slam dunk for us or a 3-pointer for us. Like, okay, and we letting you know this. Hey, you're starting to rack up the scoreboard now. So it's getting close to that. But before that happens, you're gonna have to see the kingdom fall apart. When I see the kingdom, I'm talking about the Esau's wicked ass rulership. You're gonna see it start to basically, this crumble apart, fall apart, piece by piece, brick by brick. Okay, this whole democracy is starting to fall apart, if you can even call it a democracy. Okay, it's falling apart. It's not working. Everybody's against each other. Everybody's sick. Everybody's unhappy, mad. You got to go back to work now. Nobody wants to go back to work. Still so happy getting paid by the government. Everybody's fucking mad, man. All right. So what is Esau doing? He's going to play on those emotions, and he's going to bring the next wave in. He thinks he's just going to continue to get away with all this wickedness, but the Lord's about to put a stop to it. You brothers had something. I forgot what you were going into. Yeah, go ahead, bros. If not, I got some.
Real quick, you were mentioning the whole thing with Egypt and the plagues. The scripture says that ye shall be a nation of kings and priests. Moses was that first unofficial king of Israel, and who was the priest? Aaron. And through Aaron was the one who Moses was who the Most High chose to basically bring the things out.
Right.
Moses told Aaron what to say and what to do, man. Okay, for the most part. All right, and what we in the stead of them both.
Absolutely.
Okay. Go ahead with that precept.
Con. Lamentations 4:21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwelleth in the land of Uz. The cup, and we talked about the cup a little while ago, kind of a little bit, also shall pass through unto thee. So that cup, what is that cup talking about? It's talking about the cup of affliction that we have to drink of for many, many hundreds of years. We had to drink of that, bro. And we complained. We were upset about it. But guess what? We drunk it, bro. And now the cup is empty. And it's going to get filled right back up, and it's going to be passed over onto you. And now you're going to have to drink of it. Yeah, you had fun playing king, playing ruler, playing pharaoh on the earth. It must have been fun. Look what you did. You built these big ass skyscrapers. You went into outer space. You killed all the animals. It must have been a riot for you. But now that time is up. It says the cup. It says the cup also shall pass through unto thee, Edom. It's talking about daughter of Edom, you white people. Thou shalt be drunken and shall make thyself naked. So you're exposed. So everybody's starting to see you for who you really are and who you really has been since you've been ruling. All the other nations see it. Okay, everybody is seeing it. Now they're calling you out on it. And now they're actually they see your nuclear weapons and they're raising you. Talking about these heathen nations. So now you have a war in your hand. Now you have a battle with the people of the earth. That, hey, you may actually win that battle, but guess who's going to come back and just wipe everybody out? The Lord's going to come back. But when he comes back, he's not just going to kill everybody. He's going to put you into slavery. That's the cup that's going to be passed over onto you. You're going to have to drink of it. Okay, and it's going to be very bitter. But are we going to care? No, because you didn't care about us. You destroyed our children. You killed our children, our women, our elderly, or men. You feminized our men. So all these things, you're going to have to pay for it. Look at the state of America. Look, your precious America, the most powerful country on the earth. Ain't a bunch of sissies out here, bro. This shit it's almost got to be a dream, And the scriptures talk about that, but it has to be a dream. But hey, it's almost over, bro. You bros got it.
Yeah. I thought the brother had it up. Right, so this is Matthew 24, in verse 14. It says, "The gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come." This is going to a little bit earlier about a commentator. They're called announcers. An announcer, they pretty much someone who proclaims a message to the public. They're pretty much, again, by eyewitness, they're seeing what they see with their eyes and put it in their mouth. Put it out to the public. So you don't get mad at people that saying goes don't kill the messenger. You can't be mad at someone for giving the bad news. Be mad at the person that created the situation. So we're just saying the news. We're just reporting to you. The unbiased counsel of Yahweh Shem.
Yeah, we back you up. We like, man, here go that man. Like, y'all shine his way. Oh man, bro, that's what we doing. To back the brother up. We don't get mad at us. Because we commentating and telling you prophecy, 2 Ezra 13, Isaiah 66 and 15, Revelations 1 and 7, Isaiah 63rd chapter. The Lord get ready to get us. Don't get mad at us because we telling you that man coming.
It said the gospel means good news.
That's
but
good news.
Proverbs 11 says the Lord's not a false balance, so it's bad news to somebody. So if you're upset about this news, it means obviously you're on the bad side of the news. It's good news unto us. They said the end shall become Booth and Esau. That's why he don't want us to go out and preach. That's why he's out to put off the word, because he thinks he can stop promising. He's carnal. This thing is spiritual. His man has already said that he just done it.
So finishing up on his article, it says instead, Biden had raised his voice and said he would call on Republican friends on all levels of government to stand up for the Most High's sake and help prevent this concerted effort to undermine our election and the sacred right to vote. You see? So this devil, not only is he a goddamn liar, okay, but again, he's trying to appeal to you, Jakes. For God's sake, we got to stop this. We got to stop this division. We got to come together. It says, adding, have you no shame? No, these devils don't got no shame in their game, man.
Absolutely
They'll
not.
gladly kill and spread, shed blood and rape and pillage and rob and all different types of things in the name of themselves, man, because of their pride. They don't have no shame in their game, man.
Nope.
Again, this is all theatrics that's going on, but nonetheless, it's for a greater means, man. Okay? Because what's getting ready to come is that roaring lion seeking whom he may devour. Okay? And right now, he's prowling. And he's about to jump on y'all like white on rice, man. Okay? So, brothers got anything?
No, sir.
Then we're going to jump into 2nd Ezra 15. This is the book of Psalms 52, starting at verse 1. It says, why boastest thou thyself in mischief, O mighty man? The goodness of the Most High endureth continually. Thy tongue deviseth mischief like a sharp razor working deceitfully. All right, let's go into what this man and how he speaks, how he goes into his laws, and how he puts these different things upon these different people. Let's go into the policies, what we were going into earlier. You look at the country, Cuba, okay, how it has these different sanctions, these different embargoes on it. All right, but he's doing these things behind the scenes. All right, and it's him at the forefront of it. Okay, it says
like what's that show or that movie? Pretty much behind a closed curtain. It's the devil. The elder always mentions
Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz always mention that too. Elder Pastor Ramos, he always bring that up. The whole time you wondering why shit fucked up, and then you find out it's a decrepit ass devil the whole time behind the scenes, man.
Well, that's that scripture that was read earlier. Is just the man, who really, yeah, it's just the man. Your brother's talking, read it earlier. It's just the man. But go ahead, Quan.
Continuing on, it says, thou lovest evil more than good, and lying rather than to speak righteous. All right, this man's going to always be a liar. All right, he's the father of it. All right, as Yahweh Shai has said. All right, so this is what we see Esau Edom is gearing towards to. All right, he's going to always be a liar. That's what the scripture says in Sirach 12, never trust thine enemy. But you have our people always trusting after this devil. You go into Isaiah 30, I believe it says, woe unto you that go down into Egypt. All right, so our people are going to always keep trying to go after this man, but they're going to find themselves in the snare that Esau is taking trap of. This is Ezekiel chapter 7, and let me see if I can find it. Where is it at? Find it. Shall say peace in there, no?
The peace.
Yeah, it's 25. Verse 25? Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. Ezekiel chapter 7, and I'll start at verse 24. And this is what's getting ready to come, man. This is verse 24. Wherefore I will bring the worst of the heathen, and they shall possess their houses, and I will also make the pomp of the strong to cease, and their holy places shall be defiled. Right. So the Lord is getting ready to bring these nations upon this place, man. This place is weak, and not only that, but when you look at it within America, you Israelites, the Lord is getting ready to bring the worst of the heathens upon you, meaning these Edomites, man.
Yeah.
Okay? It says, wherefore I will bring the worst of the heathen, and they shall possess their houses, and that's what Esau's going to do. He'll kick you out, take you out of your home, okay? Take everything you got, okay? It says, or like I will also make the pomp of the strong to cease. These Edomites, okay, they're the pomp, they're the proud. Their pride is gonna cease, man. It says, and their holy places shall be defiled. Okay? And it says, destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none, man. So there ain't no peace coming. You guys are all trying to talk about trying to come together because there's a divide happening in this way. There ain't no peace coming, man. This is the spirit of the Lord that's being done in the midst thereof, man. Okay? Luke chapter 12, verse 49 and 50, the Lord's coming to bring division. Okay? Not peace, not love, not togetherness, but destruction. Okay? Division. That's what the Lord is going to bring. That's why what's happening is happening, man, because the Lord is sanctioning these things, man. Okay?
Vengeance is in my heart. And the year of my Redeemer comes. That man's hot. That man upstairs on the right hand side is hot. Just to back their brother up. So great vengeance is coming. Why do you think so much? The Lord said, I come to send fire on the earth, man. What will I if it already be kindled? You actually have fire as we speak. If you don't spiritually believe, physical fires is here. All right. So how much more when this man crack the sky? Okay, shit gonna be out of control, and you gonna need somebody to call on in that time. And if you do not know his name, know his son's name, all right, you're gonna be destroyed. Straight like that, bro.
The brothers don't got nothing else. We're gonna go ahead and get this closing stuff. All right, it's the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, starting at verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Right. The word world, woe means destruction. Okay, so that's what's coming. Woe to the world, destruction to the world, and them that dwell therein. Go ahead. It's for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another. Right? See, one people shall stand up to fight against another. That's what's coming into the world, man. That's what we see happening. That's what we've been seeing happening in these other countries. Go ahead, but it's getting ready to accumulate here in America, and it's going to be the climactic bubble pop. Okay, the climactic theme is going to be acted out here in America, man. Go ahead. And swords in their hands, for there shall be sedition among men, and the swords in their hands being these weapons, these guns. That's why they've been talking about this gun confiscation, man, or confiscation, however you pronounce the word. Yeah. Go ahead. And there shall be sedition among men. Verse 16, it says, for there shall be sedition among men, and uprising against the government or the powers that be. Go ahead. And invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the force of their actions shall stand in their power. Right? So the kings and the princes is these governors, these rulers, the president. Ain't nobody give a damn about what Biden's saying that day. It's going to be about getting theirs, man. About getting their point across, so to say.
Hey, real quick.
Go ahead.
So I was just gonna say a real quick example of that was when so-called Joe Biden won the elections, but then the rest of them Edomites wasn't regarding that. All right, and they wanted to go and storm the Capitol building. You know, they just didn't have the swords at that point, but it's going to escalate even further than that.
That's right.
Verse 17, it says, a man is a desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Right. We've already seen glimpses of that with the lockdowns, man. Right now, in Paris, they got those lockdowns. You can't go nowhere. Australia, I think, got a 500 some kilometer limit or some. They can go out as far as they can.
Stuck.
Okay? They got curfews 5 p.m. in Paris. Starting at 5 p.m., they got curfew. You can't be out on the street. Okay? All that, again, the climactic scene is going to happen here in America. All that has been already shown last year. Experiments, and you simpletons went along with it. Well, now it's getting ready to be done in a fashion that you didn't think this place was capable of. The establishment, the power that be, I thought they were for the people. Yeah, okay. Go ahead. Reading on, verse 18, it says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed. All right, the pride of you Americans, man. The pride of you Israelites. Because of your pride, your cities are going to be troubled, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's why the Acts 5th chapter says, if this council work be of men, it'll come to naught. So the storming the Capitol building, you take them out, you white man, give me a job, white man, it's going to be destroyed. But it says these happened found fight against the Most High. You know, could be of the Most High. This counsel that we're speaking. You know, you're fighting against the Lord. You're out there protesting. You're fighting against the Lord. You might think it's innocent. I'm fighting for my people, my nation. You ain't doing nothing for the Lord. You're against the Lord. And you're going to be doing for that. That's why you're not being defended out there. You're getting shot up, going in jail, you know, because you're being evil, you know.
But you know, it says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Right? The houses shall be destroyed, and you men, you so-called tough guys out there, y'all gonna be afraid, man, because of the things that are done in the midst thereof. Men's hearts failing them for the things that are done in the midst thereof, man. You're gonna be having men having heart attacks. You're gonna have people having strokes. You're gonna have people's heart literally exploding, man. Just fear of the things that are happening.
Yeah, I mean, back you up. Jeremiah the 30th chapter. Jeremiah said, what? I see grown men. Why do I see grown men with their hands on their horns? As a woman travailing with child. Because he's seen like the book, man, a lot of you people, man, you don't understand what true power is, man. You get ready to be humble, man, by your how about me outside, man. Your shit getting ready to get taken from you because you don't know who gave it to you, man. No?
You know, verse 19, a man should have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread. Right. And all this is, again, all these things are going to be happening, man, all at once. The famine that you guys have been laughing at, the so-called Cubans that they're protesting about, all you dumbasses over here laughing about that, it's going to come to these streets over here, but for real. Okay? You ain't going to have no food. You ain't going to be able to go to the grocery store. All in the midst of all this rioting and people looting and killing each other. You're going to have no choice but to go kill your best friend. Kill your neighbor. Go raid his shit. Go ransack it, or he's gonna come to you and do it. Mm-hmm. That's what's getting ready. That's the spirit that's getting ready to be put in the midst of Egypt, man. That perverse spirit. And everything that you do is gonna fail. We already see it happen. Okay? There's gonna be no escape. Ain't nobody gonna escape the judgment that's getting put out here, man. Because there's gonna be that spirit is gonna be on you. See, the men of the Lord are going to be okay. We're going to be covered from the wind. Okay?
These people are going to be forced to fight. They're going to be forced to fight, forced to protect themselves. Okay? But the men of the Lord, whoever they may be on this earth, are going to be under the care of the Heavenly Father. All right? Because what? The men of the Lord are fighting right now. It's a spiritual battle. We're fighting a spiritual war, a spiritual battle right now, while you're lollygagging playing games. So when trouble and affliction really comes upon the earth, talking about Jacob's trouble, now you're going to be forced to fight and protect yourself, and fight for your salvation, which is just going to be a losing battle for you. Go ahead.
Back in 19, it says, a man should have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So a lot of people is getting, man, like brother just said, we're getting ready to go home. But a lot of y'all are getting ready to go to the grave. Okay? That's where you made your bed, but that's where you're gonna lay. Okay? But we living in dire times, man. Okay? Anybody got anything else?
Man, hey,
we good, brother.
That's been instructing the 2/3 of you niggas, man.
That's right.
You people that hate Yahweh Shemel Shai, you hate this word. All right, here it is. You got 100,000 views on some dumb shit, man. All right, you got 5 brothers watching. If that, man. Death and destruction to you people that hate righteousness, man. The destruction that's coming is for you. It's not for us. You've been warned, man.
Tribulations were all created, the sword, the destruction, the anguish was all created for the wicked. Okay? Hey, so that's Sirach chapter 40. So with that, we want to give all praises and glory. Double honor to the elders, apostles, the great millstone. Much blessing and citation to the Akim around the 4 corners of the earth. who are diligently pushing out this truth and its truth and sincerity. Yeah, we say shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.